For over 2,500 years, peace reigned across the galaxy under the vigilant watch of the Galactic Council. A coalition of intelligent species, each unique yet united in their commitment to peace, the Council was a beacon of hope and stability in an otherwise chaotic universe. Among its members, humanity stood out, a species once known for its intense drive, innovation, and resilience, but also for its fierce history of warfare. Long ago, humans had renounced violence, choosing instead to uplift, create, and protect under the Council's guidance. They had advanced technologies, pioneered interstellar trade, and led diplomatic initiatives that bound diverse species together. Whispers, however, had begun to circulate. Rumors of a new species on the fringes of known space, the Valari, had reached the Council chambers. Descriptions were vague but disturbing, aggressive, uncompromising, and dangerously territorial. Many in the Council dismissed these rumors as baseless fears. Humanity, however, remained cautious. Behind the scenes, human diplomats and strategists urged the Council to prepare, to at least consider the threat. But their warnings fell on deaf ears. Humanity's history of war, once a source of mistrust, now worked against them. Most Council members saw them as alarmists, unable to escape their violent past. In humanity's Council chamber, Chief Diplomat Lyra and Commander Jace debated humanity's next steps. Lyra, a seasoned diplomat, held firmly to the Council's principles, believing that dialogue and mutual understanding could still prevail. Jace, however, remained skeptical, his instincts shaped by humanity's long-buried warrior past. For him, the warnings weren't enough. He saw the Valari as a storm brewing on the horizon, one that couldn't be ignored forever. Their discussions were cut short when news arrived that would shatter the Council's tranquil illusions. An expeditionary fleet, sent on a mission of peace, had been ambushed. Hundreds of lives, innocent scientists and explorers from various species, were lost in a brutal attack, and humanity bore the brunt of the casualties. The Council convened in an emergency meeting. Shocked and horrified, the Council's representatives were at a loss, torn between disbelief and fear. Some urged restraint, arguing that this could be a misunderstanding or an isolated event. Humanity, however, was silent but resolute. They understood the language of force when diplomacy failed. The blood of innocents called out for justice, and for humanity, there was only one answer. Rising to address the Council, humanity's leaders announced their decision. They would not stand idly by while the Valari threatened all they held dear. Humanity formally withdrew from the Council's pacifist mandates and, for the first time in 2 millennia, prepared for war. Some Council members watched in horror, others in awe. But humanity had made its choice. They would bear the burden of defending peace, even if it meant forsaking the Council's ideals. Humanity's war machine, dormant for centuries, roared to life. Hidden facilities activated, and fleets were assembled with technology and strategies the Council had never imagined. Though they had laid down arms for peace, humanity had never truly forgotten how to fight. Their preparations were meticulous, their resolve unbreakable. As they prepared to engage the Valari, other species observed humanity's tactical genius with astonishment. The humans moved with a unity and discipline that was both inspiring and terrifying. In the dead of space, humanity's fleets faced the Valari in the first clash of this brutal war. The Valari were powerful, relentless, and skilled in battle, yet they had underestimated their opponent. Humanity fought with a blend of strategy, resilience, and sheer grit honed from a history of overcoming impossible odds. Tactics shifted with every skirmish, ambushes were countered, traps dismantled, and gradually, humanity began to turn the tide. The cost was high, ships lost, lives sacrificed, but each victory cemented humanity's place as the galaxy's ultimate defender. Some Council species, inspired by humanity's defiance and bravery, joined the fight. No longer could they sit in comfort while their protectors bled on the front lines. Together, they fought alongside humanity, forming alliances that transcended language and culture, united by the need to preserve what the Valari threatened to destroy. Commander Jace, leading his forces with a fierce determination, reminded them all why they fought, not for conquest, but to protect those who could not defend themselves. The Valari, unprepared for the unyielding assault humanity led, soon found themselves retreating. But humanity pressed on, unwilling to stop until the Valari were no longer a threat to peace. The final battle was a grueling test of will, a clash of civilizations where survival hung by a thread. Yet humanity's resolve held firm. Despite devastating losses, they emerged victorious, and the Valari surrendered. In the aftermath, humanity stood before the Council once more. This time, they did not seek approval or absolution. Instead, they presented the evidence of the Valari's aggression, the lives lost, and the world saved. Some members of the Council looked upon them with wary respect, others with lingering distrust. But all understood that humanity's actions, though harsh, had been necessary. As the Council deliberated on the future, humanity made a proposal. They argued for a new directive, a balance between peace and defense, a readiness to protect what they had built if ever threatened again. No longer could peace mean vulnerability. Humanity offered to share their knowledge, to teach other species how to defend themselves, so that no threat, no matter how terrifying, could ever destabilize their unity again. Commander Jace and Diplomat Lyra reflected on all they had sacrificed. They had broken a sacred peace, but in doing so, they had preserved the very foundation of it. Humanity's final message to the Council was clear: they desired peace, but they would never be helpless in its name. They were the defenders of the galaxy, and if need be, they would rise to protect it, no matter the cost. The galaxy now understood, in a way they never had before, the depth of humanity's commitment, both to peace and to survival. The ambush was brutal, merciless, and unlike anything the Council had ever seen. The Valari had struck with precision, their fleet overwhelming the unsuspecting Council ships within minutes. Reports of the attack spread quickly through Council space, the details chilling even the most stoic diplomats and leaders. Hundreds of lives had been lost: scientists, diplomats, explorers, individuals who had ventured out in the spirit of peace and unity. Humanity's delegation had suffered the heaviest losses, and the impact of this betrayal cut deeply into the heart of human leadership. An emergency council meeting was called, the atmosphere tense and fragile. As each race voiced their concerns, humanity's representatives listened in silence, their expressions grave. Some species tried to rationalize the attack, clinging to the hope that this might have been a misunderstanding. They argued that perhaps the Valari didn't understand the Council's peaceful intentions, or that a language barrier might have led to this tragic confrontation. They urged caution, preferring to open a line of dialogue rather than risk further escalation. Others argued for isolation, proposing that the Council withdraw from Valari territory to avoid future conflicts. But humanity could not accept either path. They had seen the destruction, the faces of those they'd lost, the charred remains of their ships drifting through space. Humanity's leaders, steeled by the ancient instincts they had worked so hard to bury, stepped forward. Chief Diplomat Lyra spoke first, her voice calm but resolute. She recounted the events with clarity, reminding the Council that this was not an accidental skirmish, but a deliberate attack. Humanity had already attempted diplomacy, she argued, and the Valari had responded with bloodshed. The room fell silent as Lyra finished. Eyes turned to Commander Jace, who stepped forward, embodying the weight of humanity's warrior past. His words were precise and unyielding. Humanity, he declared, would not stand by while the galaxy turned a blind eye to the threat. They had once been warriors, he reminded them, and though they had laid down their arms for peace, they had not forgotten how to fight when the need arose. For humanity, this was no longer a debate but a responsibility. They owed it to the memory of those lost and to the countless lives across the galaxy who could fall victim to the Valari's ruthlessness. The announcement sent shockwaves through the Council. Humanity declared its intention to defend itself, even if it meant breaking from the Council's pacifist stance. To some, this was betrayal; to others, a necessary stance against a growing threat. Humanity's words stirred a mix of fear and admiration. While most Council members still clung to their pacifism, a few began to question whether peace could survive without the strength to protect it. Humanity prepared to act. They would mobilize their forces, they announced, and confront the Valari head-on. Those who wished to join them would be welcomed, those who chose to remain neutral would not be judged. But humanity would not allow this threat to go unanswered. As they left the council chamber, humanity's leaders knew that they were crossing a line they could never return from. Yet they walked with unwavering resolve, prepared to carry the weight of their decision alone if they must. For in that moment, humanity chose to sacrifice their peace to protect it. Humanity's preparations moved at a speed that shocked the galaxy. Ships once thought to be for transport or exploration were retrofitted into war vessels, armed with weaponry the Council had only theorized. Military personnel, descendants of a long-forgotten warrior class, were recalled to active duty, ready to defend their people. Every ship, every battalion, every piece of technology was primed for one purpose: protecting the galaxy from the Valari. Humanity had not fought a war in centuries, yet the spark of their ancient resolve had reignited, a fierce fire beneath their measured, strategic exterior. In deep space, humanity's first fleet clashed with the Valari. The initial assault was relentless, a barrage of weapons and tactics that pushed both sides to the brink. The Valari fought with brutal efficiency, their strength honed from battles humanity could only guess at. But humans adapted. Each time the Valari attempted to corner them, humanity countered with precise maneuvers, disorienting the enemy with an unpredictability that was terrifying and exhilarating. Fleets maneuvered in complex patterns, creating traps, diversions, and ambushes that turned the Valari's aggression against them. Commanders communicated seamlessly, adjusting tactics in real time as they read the Valari's movements and learned from each engagement. Every battle revealed a new weakness, a vulnerability that humanity exploited with surgical precision. Even as the Valari pressed harder, humanity responded with greater ingenuity. They used electronic warfare, cloaked ships, and unexpected formations, forcing the Valari to second-guess every move. The Council, watching from afar, was astonished. Humanity wasn't merely fighting, they were mastering the battlefield in ways that defied expectations. But victory came at a price. Humanity lost ships, and the casualties weighed heavily. Commanders and soldiers alike knew the stakes, yet they pressed on, driven by the memory of those first Council lives lost to the Valari's ambush. Commander Jace became a symbol among the troops, a leader who bore the weight of each loss with a solemn resolve. In the heat of battle, he rallied his forces, reminding them of the purpose behind their fight. They were defending not just humanity, but all life across the galaxy. Other species, moved by humanity's resilience, joined the battle. The Krellians, renowned for their engineering, offered their technology, reinforcing humanity's ships with defensive capabilities. The Aran, telepathic beings, lent their psychic abilities to detect Valari ambushes before they materialized. Each species contributed, united by the realization that humanity's battle was a shared struggle for survival. What began as a human conflict had transformed into a coalition, bound by the courage to protect their way of life. Each victory deepened the bonds between humanity and its allies, even as the losses mounted. The Valari retreated further with each engagement, but humanity remained vigilant, refusing to relent until they had secured lasting peace. Driven by a collective resolve, they pressed onward, undeterred by the darkness that lay ahead. Humanity's final offensive against the Valari was a coordinated assault unlike anything the galaxy had witnessed. Every ship, every fighter, every ally they had gained converged on the Valari stronghold, a desolate, fortified planet on the edge of Council space. Humanity knew this was their chance to end the conflict, to ensure the safety of all who had rallied behind them. The battle was fierce, a clash of wills where every inch of ground cost lives, every advance tested the limits of endurance and resolve. The Valari fought with desperation, unwilling to yield to humanity's relentless assault. But humanity's forces were unwavering, a unified front where every commander, every soldier knew the purpose behind their fight. Hours stretched into days as humanity's fleet tore through the Valari defenses, breaking their lines, dismantling their strongholds, and pushing them back until, finally, the Valari resistance collapsed. Humanity's victory was sealed, but the toll was immense: ships lost, friends and allies fallen, and countless sacrifices etched into the memory of those who survived. In the aftermath, humanity addressed the Council, presenting the evidence of the Valari's unprovoked aggression. The Council members, many of whom had remained neutral, now grappled with the reality of what humanity had done. Some viewed them with newfound respect, acknowledging the necessity of their actions, while others felt unsettled, wary of humanity's willingness to wage war when peace was threatened. Yet, despite the differences, the Council recognized the undeniable truth: humanity's actions had preserved the galaxy from a threat they had all underestimated. Commander Jace, bearing the weight of those they had lost, proposed a new path forward. Humanity didn't seek domination or praise. They simply wanted a galaxy that was prepared to defend itself against future threats. He urged the Council to adopt a new directive, one that balanced the ideals of peace with the practical need for self-defense. Humanity offered to share their knowledge, to train other species in defense tactics, and to foster alliances that would stand as a deterrent against any future aggressor. Reflecting on the battles they'd fought, humanity recognized the profound cost of breaking the peace. Chief Diplomat Lyra reminded them all that while humanity had embraced war, it had been out of necessity, to protect a peace worth preserving. The Council deliberated, and ultimately, they agreed to adopt humanity's proposal, establishing a new era of vigilance balanced with diplomacy. In the days that followed, humanity reaffirmed its commitment to peace. They would continue to serve the Council, but they would no longer stand by if that peace was threatened. Their final message was clear: humanity would always defend life, unity, and freedom, even if it meant standing alone. The galaxy, changed by humanity's courage and sacrifice, began to move forward, united by a shared commitment to both peace and the strength to protect it.